So hi, I'm Vera, and welcome to our team call. I'm here with Marcie, and she is going to talk to us about her trip to Nepal with the Healing Hands Foundation. So I would love, for people who don't know about the Healing Hands Foundation, if you could just say a few words about it.
Oh, sure. I was able to learn the difference between the co-impact sourcing and Healing Hands finally. Those all had run together because they both help people and I wasn't sure the difference. So co-impact sourcing is where doTERRA works with our growers, our harvesters, distillers, and we make improvements to their process, like working on their distillation units or running water or doing something that directly affects how we get our oils. And that's good for them and it's good for us because it creates a better sustainability to the oils that we source.
Mm-hmm.
Healing Hands says, thank you for the work that you do getting these wonderful, precious, pure, potent oils for us. We would love to do something that gives back to your community. And that is where we build the hospitals, where we build schools, where we come in with water purification systems, temporary housing after a disaster. So what I was able to see was actually both of those things. We visited Wintergreen Distillery, so we saw the women actually harvesting the plants and carrying them in to be weighed. They get paid exactly when they harvest. So it's weigh and pay in the same day. They wake up in the morning. Before the kids go to school, they're out in the forest and they're harvesting their huge packs. They have a strap across their forehead, and the bag that they hold the leaves in is as tall as their bodies, weighs like 100 pounds. It's really heavy. And they go out and they cut and they harvest, they get weighed and paid, and they go home and get the kids ready for school. So it's a perfect way for a mother to earn extra money to send her kids to school, to buy the uniforms, and also to buy a few things from around the house that they need. Their actual main source of income there is potato farming, which is a lot of hard work, and you get paid once a year. You get paid at the potato harvest after the potatoes have been sold, and that's one lump sum, but you have to budget and spread that out throughout the year, so the doTERRA money comes in handy. We also worked
Can
in...
I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you're telling me the difference between co-impact sourcing and the Healing Hands Foundation, right?
Yes.
So in Nepal, was it both? Was it the Healing Hands
Yes.
Foundation and co-impact sourcing?
We got to see both, yes. We got to see the ag building that we built for them to help them improve their distillation process, because with wintergreen, you don't get much. It takes a lot of raw material to get just a little bit of oil.
Yeah.
So the ag building is going to teach them better processes, better potato farming even. That's the co-impact sourcing part. The Healing Hands portion is what we did the next day, where we went to work on the hospital that we're building. We rode a bus 5 hours to Longjun from Kathmandu. When you're seriously injured, that is a terribly long bus ride, because I'm telling you, my belly did not feel like it wanted to ride that bus anymore. And I was not sick and I was not injured.
Wow.
So what we've created there is an inpatient unit. They already have a doctor there for outpatient stuff, but there's no place to bandage you up and stabilize you to get you to the actual hospital. So this is going to be an overnight stay place. And what we did there was clean up. It's nearly to the end of its construction. So it's actually going to be inaugurated this month, which is so exciting. I can't wait to see the ceremony. So we just did a lot of cleaning and dirt moving and getting it ready for the painters and the people to move in the furniture. So we got to help both ways.
And so tell me about the trip and how you went on it and the cost and...
Well, it depends where you go, what the cost is. The Nepal trip actually was more expensive than some of the other ones. We entered a lottery. So I think it was silver and above. got to put in $10 to say, yes, I'd like to go. And then you're chosen in the lottery. So I was ecstatic that that I was chosen. I couldn't even believe it because I'd wanted to go for so long. Now, as far as the price, airfare is on your own, and then you pay a fee. Half of the fee that you pay goes for your expenses. So your housing, your transportation in country, your food, your guides, your admission to the different places that you see. The other half goes to fund the project that you're working on. So we're
well, take it back, Marcie. Marcie, take it back.
Well, not technically, probably the project that we're on.
Wait.
So we work with Choice Humanitarian.
Stop. You're freezing. You're freezing. So just take it back and go slower.
Okay.
Because we're missing a lot of what you're saying because it's freezing a bit.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. My family got home and turned on the television, which runs on internet.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why it's getting worse. Probably. I'm texting them now to say turn off TV.
Yeah. It was good before. It's no.
Yeah. Till they got home. Yeah, we don't have enough. Okay, so what didn't you hear?
Yeah, I mean the last 3 minutes that you were sharing. Like, okay, so how did you get on the trip? You paid $10 to get on the lottery, and then, bam.
Yes. Oh, okay, so that we had to purchase our own airfare, and we paid a fee. I want to say $22.50 maybe was the fee. Half of that is my transportation and in country. My accommodations, my food, my admission to the different sites that we saw. And the other half goes to fund the next Choice Humanitarian project that doTERRA supports.
Oh, wow. So that's awesome.
Half was administrative and half was donation. And different countries require a different fee. They're not all the same. I think Nepal might be actually higher than some. We slept at the school.
You slept at the school? Oh, wow.
We slept on the floor of the schoolhouse.
On the floor?
Yep.
On the floor. Oh, my God. Did you have little mats or something?
Yeah.
Was there any insects? Because I'm not good with insects.
No, we didn't see any.
Oh, wow.
And food
you're
was
in Nepal. You're like in the mountains.
Yeah.
Oh
we were. We were in the mountains. It's beautiful.
Wow.
They taught us great measures to stay well because the water is not drinkable. So we were very careful. We had bottled water all the time. We had a medic that traveled with us in case anyone got sick or injured. We had someone right there with us to keep us well. And we also have part of the doTERRA security team to keep us safe too. So we were never in any danger from bad guys or pathogens.
Wow. So Sarah and Lori are on. So Sarah and Lori, if you had questions for Marcie about her trip to Nepal through the Healing Hands Foundation and Co-Impact Sourcing, please ask her. Because we're just making this a very informal kind of chat about this amazing trip. Like doTERRA, a lot of people don't know what doTERRA does behind the scenes and how they have such a powerful global impact. And Marcie, literally went to Nepal with doTERRA. So that's what we're learning about right now and her experience. So she did have to pay for the trip. So they don't fund, do they fund you, do they have any free trips to go to Nepal or anything like that? That'd be cool. Probably not. No. Okay.
No, our incentive trip is free, but the Co-Impact Sourcing trips are funded by us. And I thought at first it was quite a lofty fee, But once I realized that I'm only paying half of that for me and the rest of it is going to support the nations that we serve, I didn't mind a bit once I realized that. And I worked carefully to find a great flight. So I think it was maybe only $800 for the flight. I had ridiculous layovers, but it was worth it to get to go.
Yeah. Right. Wow. So you slept on the floor. What did you eat?
Everything.
Yeah.
They had so many choices. They had typical Nepali food. So we ate a lot of lentils, chickpeas, rice, dal, popcorn, a lot of vegetarian entrees.
Yeah.
There was chicken for the ones who wanted that. We did not eat pork. We did not eat beef. Chicken was the way to go. So there were eggs if you wanted that. A lot of different types of salad. We were cautioned against eating raw vegetables out in the community.
Yeah.
We didn't eat the salads because anything that's been washed. So if it's a fruit that we could peel, it would be okay. We'd be able to eat a banana, but never strawberries or anything like that. That would have to be no lettuce. So we did eat at a few restaurants, but mostly we had a kitchen team there with us. Choice Humanitarian provided a kitchen team
that was part of your expenses, right?
It was. Yes, but we got to try so many things. I took photos of many of my meals and I labeled them right there. So when I go back to look at them, I'll remember what it was I ate because a lot of it was something I'd never had before. I would say probably my part of the trip was the Days for Girls training. We doTERRA partners with Choice Humanitarian. We partner with Operation Underground Railroad and also Days for Girls. And if you don't know about Days for Girls, it is a way to teach women about menstrual freedom, basically. Many impoverished countries do not have access to disposable supplies, and Nepal is probably the worst in that area. There are some ladies in Nepal who have to still sleep in the barn or in a hut during their cycle. So 5 days they're separated from their family. Sometimes they may have a nursing child and be separated from baby because they are thought to be unclean. So we were able to do 3 different sessions of Days for Girls training where we teach women about their bodies, how biologically they work, the 28-day cycle, how to track that, how to family plan based on if you're choosing to conceive or not. There's a section in there about the man's body. So the ladies are taught they're taught hygiene, hand washing, toothbrushing, those things. And they're also taught that their bodies are their own and they alone make decisions for their body and no one else gets to. So there's a section about empowerment. You are strong, you are beautiful, you are in charge of you. And there's a self-defense portion where they're taught to ward off attackers. And there's even a section about how to avoid getting yourself in a trafficking situation.
Wow.
Which was pretty interesting. Yeah, some of the tricky stuff that they pull of this is what they're going to say, this is what could really happen.
Really?
So they're taught to be wary.
What's some of the stuff that traffickers?
Sneaky people, they'll come into a community like the one we were in and say that they're offering scholarships for the brightest and the best. And these parents who do not have access to education and they cannot provide opportunities are thrilled at the opportunity that their daughter is going to get to go away and study and have these wonderful opportunities in her life. And they'll say things like, well, it'll be a while before you get to talk to her because there's traveling, there's a long distance between, we'll have to get her set up and ready. Don't worry if you don't hear from her. So by the time they start to worry and try to track down their daughter, she's gone. Because they have not taken her to school. They have not taken her where they said they were going to be, and now the families can't find her.
Wow.
Some of the men will, especially digitally, they'll groom the girls into thinking, I want to be your boyfriend, but really there's 30 girls that he's courting at the same time. And, he gets them to come, and obviously with ulterior motives. And so they're taught if it's too good to be true. Yeah.
That's really sad.
So it is. So what was the most exciting is, of course, the training was done in Nepali. Someone from the Days for Girls Nepal team was there doing the teaching. I didn't understand a word of it, but I could watch their expressions. And when they came in, they were unsure. They were nervous. What is this all about? And the class is done with such humor that the ladies were laughing. They were asking questions. They were answering questions. And at the end, when I was able to personally distribute the Days for Girls kits, to see the hope, to see the gratitude of, they know with this, their lives are about to change. And sometimes they only do the Days for Girls program with school-age children. And this one happened to be community-wide. So we had daughters, moms, and grandmas all hearing this. We served 300 ladies that day. 300 ladies who hadn't been exposed to any of this before. And we had kits for nearly all of them. I think we were 16 short. So they were going to make sure that those got shipped back. So everybody got one. And to hear the excited chatter after, when they stepped out and they were in their circles talking, of course I didn't know what they were saying, but I did know, because they were happy. They were like, how much would this have helped us before? How are the lives of our girls going to change now that they have these supplies? So it inspired me enough that I submitted an application to run my own Days for Girls team.
Wow.
And I am accepted now. So I'm going through the stipulations of how to sew, what the patterns look like, what kind of material you're allowed to use. And I will be coordinating work days now to actually make kits to send for distribution. And hopefully, if all goes well, I will eventually get to be a trainer. So I'll get to go and do the teaching.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. While we were there too, we were able to donate $50,000 to the community leaders for microlending, which, we do that. If there is a small business owner who needs a boost, we can give a small amount of money. Say they need more chickens. We can put them that money to get their chickens, and then they just pay it back. Say you've got someone running a bakery, and if they had the money to buy their flour in bulk, they could get a discount, but they don't have that much. We'll give them the $300-400 that it takes to get them started. Then they can increase their profit and pay that back. And it's with that comes business training. And I did not know this before. I did not know that the leaders that Choice teaches eventually go on to become community leaders, elected officials, because they have the leadership skills that they need. So we're not just buying chickens, we're creating leaders.
Do you guys, Lori or Sarah, have any questions?
I don't, Vera.
Okay.
No, I don't have any questions, but it was really cool to hear about your trip.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you too.
Sharing.
We did get to do a lot of sightseeing while we were there too. We went to some temples. We went to some caves. We, of course, got to shop at some of the local stores. We ate at a couple local restaurants that were approved by the Choice team. They knew that they would be safe for us. And we even got to see Mount Everest on a flight. That was really pretty.
Yeah, nice. So I know I called in late, but how long were you there for?
I was gone from the 4th to the 15th, but I was actually in country from the 6th to the 14th.
Okay.
It was a very long trip.
Yeah.
I had a 14-hour flight and a 12-hour layover and another 5-hour flight to get there.
Wow.
And on the way home, I had a 4-hour flight, an 18-hour layover, and a 14-hour flight home.
Oh my
and then
God.
a 5-hour drive once I got back to Chicago. So it was a ton of traveling, and the time zones were completely flipped. So they're 11 hours ahead of us. That's why I was able to get home faster than it took me to get there, because I gained 12 hours.
Woo.
And then I taught the next morning.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah, because I'm out of days. So I have to take doc days now every time I'm gone. So I couldn't afford another doc day.
wow.
So I had to take 5 days off of school.
Oh my. Oh, you're amazing. So who else was on the trip? Like, what kind of doTERRA people were on the trip?
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't know a single one when I left. There were 38 of us between the choice team and the doTERRA team. So we had a couple people from the events team there. Shelly Gardner was there. Candace was there. We had our doTERRA Nepal coordinator there, Rajesh, and the leaders from the choice team. So Pratik Sharma was there. If you were at convention year before last, you would have seen him talk. There were no executives on this particular trip. Usually there is an executive on a co-impact sourcing trip, but all 7 of the owners have already been there. So they weren't actually on ours. But we did have Jared Moon from the co-impact sourcing team. He is full of knowledge. He's the one that goes to each of the distilleries, helps them get set up, works out the problems, creates those trusting relationships with leaders. So he had a lot to share. Yeah,
Wow.
I learned a ton.
Wow, what
doTERRA
a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah. What I learned most is not that doTERRA's oils are the best, because of course I knew that already. What I learned, and I already knew, but it was really drilled in, doTERRA is a people company. Every single decision that is made is not based on profit. It is based on whose lives can we positively affect. And that was so apparent when we were there. I knew it. I've read the stories. I've watched the videos. I've cried through the co-impact sourcing trip videos before.
Yeah.
Seeing it was 100 times more impactful than even watching those. It was amazing to see how many lives we're touching and how much integrity our owners have and how much human factor goes into every decision that's made. It's pretty awesome.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you so much for coming on the call tonight. And hopefully our team will watch the replay. I'm disappointed that not so many people are on, but I know.
Well, possibly if they have some questions, I'm happy to answer some of them. I'm working on a presentation to include photos. So maybe could I share that link?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. That would be really wonderful, because it's something that a lot of people don't know that doTERRA does, you know, all these amazing, because everyone has their why about why they came into doTERRA. And for some people it's like, I need to make money, or, you know, whatever it is. And for me, a lot of it was, I mean, money is important, but it wasn't the primary factor of why I aligned myself with doTERRA. It was really because of the global impact that it was having. And as a teacher, I can do a lot of local impact, right? Or just like within my little community, but it's not a global impact. I mean, that's bottom line. And I just love that I'm aligned with a company that can have this kind of magnitude, you know, of serving people on a global level, millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people.
And we don't just have to read about it. We can go. We can be the one. I'm hands and knees all day long, scrubbing floors in a hospital that's about to be inaugurated, that's going to serve 200,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a global impact right there. I have the dirt on my pants to prove it. I was there and helping. And what we did was completely unskilled labor. We were not swooping in and saying, here we are doTERRA and we're coming to save you. No, it was so far removed from that. It was, we see you, we appreciate you, we know the work that you do. What can we do to make your life better? We painted desks, we scrubbed floors. Any monkey could have done that. But it was us saying, thank you. We love what you do for us. And how can we make your life better because you're making ours better. And I'm telling you, we went through the deep blue painting and sleeping on the ground that, yeah, I definitely got my money's worth out of deep blue that week.
Wow. Yeah, because Nepal is they were sourcing, is it wintergreen, you said? Wintergreen?
We get our spikenard from there too, but we happen to visit the wintergreen distillery.
Yeah, it seems like they source from so many places around the world. I mean, there's so many plants. And how do they deal with that? Because the demand is so high. I mean, the demand.
That's where that ag building comes in.
Ag building?
Yeah, the agriculture center that we built for them has computers and equipment for them to improve their process. So we're always working. That's part of the co-impact sourcing. We're always working to create more efficiency in their distillation because one, it creates more income for them and they can rise above their extreme poverty. But that's the way we're going to be able to meet the demand of our ever-growing company. Wow. So we have that exclusivity. We source from the places where they're the most potent and pure, but we have to have responsible growing practices too, and that's what we teach them.
Yeah. It just seems like it's so hard to make an essential oil. I mean, it's not that so hard. There's just takes so many plants and so many that I'm just like, there's already 5 million users of doTERRA. Like, I don't understand how they're keeping up with that demand. I honestly don't understand how they're keeping up with that demand. Yeah.
We asked that same question and they said that is a daily headache for our sourcing team. Tim Valentina and everybody that's on that in that group, they work very hard to think ahead and where can we go and what can we get and who can we get down.
Sorry, I'm so freaking tired.
It's okay.
I'm just like,
it's a big thought on their mind too. Yeah.
What?
It's a big thought with them too.
Yeah.
It's a concern of how can we do better so we always have enough.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing about it. And I can't wait to one day go on one of these trips, you know. I don't know if I see myself sleeping on the floor and scrubbing toilets and stuff, but
oh, we're getting lucky to have a toilet. They don't have toilets there.
Oh,
we had potty, big hole, squat, go.
Big squat, yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited to get back to the hotel to have a potty. I loved being in the village, but man, I missed my potty.
Yeah, you love sitting on that porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand.
Porcelain throne.
Porcelain throne. Yeah, I remember being in India and, you know, pooping in a hole, you know.
Yes. And then after all the hiking.
Memorable. I also remembered being in the Himalayas and seeing really big ass spiders, like really big spiders. So
I didn't see any spiders.
Thank God you didn't. Oh, they were so big. They were like the size of my head. Seriously. I was like, I'm never coming back to the Himalayas ever again. I am too afraid of spiders. But anyway, we have 2 minutes. So this is an amazing company. That's all I'm going to say. It's changing the world, and we're a part of it. We're on the cutting edge. This company is only 10 years old. I really wish I had gotten into it sooner. I hit myself. I'm so bummed I found out about it so late, because the people who got into it like 10 years ago. You know, they're all like the double presidential diamonds. And that's only like 10 years ago. What?
Yeah, but the only difference between them and us is just time.
I know.
Yeah,
Just
if we
time.
stick with it, doTERRA's not going anywhere. We can be big too.
I know.
If we care about our people.
With it. Well, especially on the Northeast, there's a lot of opportunity on the Northeast. So anyway, thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks, Sarah and Lori, for getting on. I love
Okay.
you guys so much. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.